Hi there. So we're now up in Nasinwela restaurant. It's located 124 metres above Tampere city. It's the highest restaurant in the Nordic countries. Whilst dining here, you can enjoy spectacular views over the lake and the city, whilst the restaurant revolves through 360 degrees. We're meeting Heramb up here. Heramb is an ex-Nokia turned entrepreneur, and he founded the Council for Creative Education, or CCE for short. CCE exports Finnish curriculum studies to countries such as South Korea and India, and he's also the co-founder of Intia Matkat, and that's a travel company from Tampere with a mission to create a cultural bridge between India and Finland. So let's go and meet Heramb. Hi Heramb, it's great to meet you today, and thanks so much for coming to talk to us about your experiences of life here in Tampere.
Thanks, Nick, for having me here. It's great to be here.
Good stuff. So let's jump straight in. So we'd like to hear about your journey, how you ended up here in Tampere, and I heard something that Nokia was involved in your journey here.
Yes. So practically, actually, I'm born and brought up in India. I did my graduation there, and I was in USA, California for a couple of years before I came here. And in 2005, I got an offer for Nokia, which was my dream job. My basic background was in electricals and telecommunications. So coming to Nokia was kind of a dream job. So that's what all of a sudden I got to know a country called Finland and a city called Tampere. Earlier I was not sure how to pronounce the name, Tampere or something, but then after coming here I got a job, and then in 2006, 22nd January 2006, I landed in Tampere.
Terrific.
Yeah,
Terrific.
That was a starting point.
Okay, and then you were working with, which part of Nokia was it you were working
with? So I was working earlier with the multimedia solutions, then I was working for enterprise, and then I was leading one small team of architects.
Okay, on
so
the technical
I was,
side.
Yes, technical,
Yeah.
So my specialization was in the memory optimization and as well as in the UX. That was my area of work.
Okay.
We are back in 2006 till 2013.
Lovely.
So I was there,
And we were chatting just before the interview started, so you've moved into the entrepreneurial world now.
Yes. So practically, actually, when I joined Nokia, the Nokia gave me a different perspective of how the work should work. I would like to give one example for that. When I came to Nokia, I came from US, but that was the background. And in the first 3 to 6 months, none of my colleagues or the boss came to ask me, okay, what are you working on? In fact, I was going to them and telling them that today I worked on this and everything. Nobody was bothered about me. And if you see this thing way back in USA or in India, because you expect them to report on a regular basis and give the updates and everything. And then my boss asked me one day, his name is Pertti actually, Pertti, why you are coming to me every week and telling me, okay, you did this? Because I said, okay, if you don't ask me, then okay, how do you get to know that I am working? He said to me, it's not a Nokia way of working. It's like Nokia will give you time to explore the things around, see the kind of way of working, and then you have to find out, you have to tell Nokia that what should be you would like to do. That's a different thinking style I found here in Finland. And it is not only Nokia's way, you will find it in Finland everywhere. So taking a responsibility of your work is a kind of a culture here, is a part of professional culture which is here. And because of that, actually, I thought that, okay, when we decided that, okay, now I want to do something on my own, and this we planned in 2010 itself. So I was very much working for Nokia. My wife was a student at the University of Tampere for creative education work research. So we started the planning that, okay, let's try something on our own, and the obvious option was to start something which is we are skilled at or which are good at. So what we are good at? So I am from India, so why not to create a bridge between India and Finland? And so then we started the journey of having the Finnish people traveling to India and giving them a travel experience. So we started a company called Intia Matkat way back in 2012, and then we started my journey on the startup side and everything. So that was the starting point. Yes.
Okay, terrific. Yeah, it's interesting you talk about that Finnish culture aspect. So trust is a lovely thing here that just exists, and it makes life a whole lot easier. But let's go back to your company. So you mentioned travel, so you set the company up. What were your experiences of establishing your own company, a startup, if you like, here?
So, by the way, that was my first venture, and along with that, the second venture we started was in the field of education, and that's our major work right now. It's called Council for Creative Education, and we did it in the succession of 12 months. So 1 year. So in 2012, we set up first company and 13 second company. Setting up a company in Finland is super easy actually. It's what we call here is a part of ease of doing business is a really smooth. And the most important part, it's not only ease of doing business, ease of expanding your business is also pretty smooth. And it's not just to sell something. The reason is here is that you get a lot of support. As a business, as a part of the entrepreneur, what you need a basic support system and information to make that business smooth for you. Example, like for example, taxation. Getting a good accountant in Finland is a key success for your business. But to find that good accountant, you take time. So you keep on finding good person, and it takes maybe 2 years to get you find. Luckily, for the initial years, when your revenues are so low, you need to do most of the accounting on yourself, and that's a key part of saving your money for your future work. So we started working on putting up the filing of the accounting and everything, and then we first filed the VAT report, and we got a call from tax office that, okay, your tax returns are wrong. I said, what, sir? He said, okay, have you earned any money in this last 3 months? I said, no, because it's a very start of the business. But in the document, you have put the positive VAT here. In fact, you should get money back and not you should pay something. And I was surprised that, okay, that the tax office is calling me that, okay, we should give you money back and not you should pay back. And that was a super surprise for me actually.
Always a lovely surprise when the tax man tells you that news.
Yes, exactly. So this kind of support system, and it's not only about the giving information, it's about making you comfortable. So let's say, for example, even if you get a message from tax office that, okay, this returns, you need to explain something on that part, you should not be afraid about it, because it's a kind of pretty information that you just need to share. Something is wrong, you will correct it, and that's all. If you've been to many other countries, because I have been working for USA as well as in India and so on, a message coming from tax office is a kind of a nightmare in many of the countries.
Absolutely.
But here it's not simple, very simple.
Well, that's great to hear, great to hear. And we're also talking a bit about some of the support systems. So International House Tampere, we've got information on the web, and we've got experts dedicated to startup support. Have you seen benefits from that sort of activity here?
Now since I am here in Tampere, so for last 16 years, I see this as a great value addition in my entire life as Tampere, because I have seen Tampere from a kind of a city which is very much connected to city of Finnish culture versus an international experience. This change is tremendous. And this kind of international house Tampere will make a lot of difference in how the entrepreneurs or the startups will see the approach towards developing their business. This will definitely help. This is already helping. And one of the important aspect is that it's kind of a one-stop solution. You don't need to keep on finding the information. I think earlier also, it was not difficult to find the information. The only problem is that, okay, you need to know where to find the information in the big web actually. And like in 2006, when we started our business, just like for example, many things you need to get to know about. Let's take an example of, let's say, funding. In Finland, getting funding, people think that okay, it's pretty easy. It's not. You should know that what is the style of funding and what is the thinking style of those who fund you. You need to think it in that way. So to make it practical, now International House Tampere has put all the sources together. Earlier it was FinPro was different, business. It was not Business Finland, it was called earlier as a TechS actually. So there were multiple solutions were there, but now coming this together really helps, and so that you just need to find on the funding or the financing or the banking systems. These are the things will help, definitely, yes.
That's really, really positive to hear that feedback from you. And yeah, a lot of effort's gone into that. And it's, as you say, it's yielding results, and the startup ecosystem here in Finland reflects that. It's very, very successful. So that's great to hear. Okay. And then thinking about what we were talking about earlier, so we discussed the work-life balance. You were talking about the opportunities that gives you here in Tampere.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So in Finland, if you want to make a business, actually, you have to make a good hard work. It's a pretty much hard work. So it's not that you will have all the life enjoying yourself. But the beauty here is that the ecosystem and the society give you your private life, personal life, and this is a part of the Finnish society, and even the kind of a more laid-back approach of Tampere, I like it. To be honest, actually, if I go to Helsinki, I find it bit okay. By the way, actually, I came from a very populous country, India, so I was in Pune or Mumbai, which is like 4 times the population of only city of Finland, the entire country of Finland. But still, now after 16 years of being here, so-called domesticated here now, actually, so I find it Helsinki is still more kind of demanding, and Tampere is given me the life that I want. So here, if you want to work 20 hours a day, you are allowed to. You are welcome to do that. But whenever you need to have the weekend break or you have to go to the cottage or something, that's pretty much amazing. If you expect this in maybe India or maybe even in USA, you will get a call at some point of time to respond. And Sunday evening, okay, I want quotations by tomorrow morning. And that's not a good thing. And here that work-life balance is super amazing, and it gives you energy to work on the next day morning. So Monday morning, you are not like, oh, now I need to go back to office. So you are always energetic and you like it.
I totally agree with you. I've experienced this as well. It's very nice. Okay. And then I understand you have a family here.
Yes.
So yeah, could you tell us a bit about how you've integrated into life in Tampere together with your family? So what do you do and how do you spend your time with them?
Yeah, so actually when I came to Finland, I came to work for Nokia, and then immediately after that, by the way, one important thing I did was that I did my masters actually along with my, so I was working full-time with Nokia and full-time masters at Tampere TUT, Tampere University of Technology. And that was a benefit which I think Finland gave me quite great actually. So my wife joined me when I came here, and then my wife started her studies in doctoral studies in Tampere University, mainly in the field of education. So it was not difficult for her to integrate as a part of the culture, everything. And then we got our first boy in 2008, and then second boy in 2013. So it was pretty much like. Now the boys speak fluent Finnish. They are part of this culture because their friends are all Finns and everything. So it's for them it's not difficult, or we didn't find anything cultural difference. In fact now people ask me from India or from many other countries, how do you manage in winter in minus 25 degrees? On the day one when I came to Finland, actually it was me and my wife. Came from Mumbai to Paris to Helsinki to Tampere. That was our long flight. And on the last flight from Helsinki to Tampere, we were only 6 passengers in that small flight. In the night, we landed at 10 o'clock around here, and all other 4 passengers went to their home immediately, and only me and my wife was there on the entire Tampere airport, and our baggage were moving on the belt. So coming from that kind of a populous area to this kind of a very no man's land, it was a great experience. But we didn't know that, okay, I will come here for maybe 1 year or 2 years, but now here after 16 years, I'm pretty much amazing experience with the winter and everything. So people when ask me about the winter, I really enjoy winter because now I go to Avanto, which is like a Finnish ice hole swimming. I go twice a week to Kopinnoja, and I like it. I enjoy it. Sauna is my integral part of my life now.
That's a lovely story to hear, and it's great to hear your story that you've moved here to Tampere, you've successfully integrated together with your family, and managed to start up your own business as well. So that's really nice to hear. Heramb, thank you very much for coming to talk to us today.
Thank you.